A ver. Sí, por ahí sí. Y en cualquier momento comienzan los tíos de Capcom. Aquí deberíamos tener o doblaje en inglés, bueno, traducido en el segundo o subtítulo en inglés. Ahí comenzando el evento minimizo el juego, más que nada estoy intentando aprovechar el tiempo.
もう遊べすぎてメインミッション何だったっけかなってなっちゃう時もあるんですよ。終わりどころがねわからない。まあいい意味でね続けてしまうゲームだと思うんですけど、ちょっとまたファイナルファンタジーの世界観も。
Este compadre estaba bacán porque está interpretando canciones en piano.
歌物も多いし、結構こう。 animeっぽいというかね。
Ahí básicamente está anunciando, o sea, está introduciendo un tema que va a tocar de Nier Automata. Voy a poner el live en el celular mientras para estar atento al chat. El chat.
RPG 始めたのにと思ったらいきなり
シューティングゲームだったりして、いやすごいね本当に意表をついてくるゲームっていう感じですね。とにかくまだの人はプレイしなければいけないというやってください。すべき一本ですね。これでもニュース作る。 Queda menos de un minutito. La verdad que tenía que dejar haciendo cosas. Me quedaba para la reposición de VH, ¿verdad? ¿Ah? ¿Ah? ¿Oh?
でまあいろんなことがあってまあこれネタバレになるから言えないんだけどエンディングを迎えるんですけどこれねものすごいおびただしいほどエンディングいっぱいあるんですこのゲーム。またそれがあるわけです。
Están atrasando un poquito parece.
でまあ私は共通点がある人は分かってくれるから言うとクレジットを打たなきゃいけないエンディングまで行ったんですけど分かんないでしょ。そのうち分かると。クレジットを打たなきゃいけない。そうそう最後のねエンドクレジット流れてくるじゃん。名前を打たなきゃいけない。
Para poner automático tengo que ver unas cositas.
そこまでやるんですけどまあそういうエンディングまであってその時に最後まで見ると衝撃の結末がある。
Ya. Somos ruidos de fondo. Vamos a sacar el jueguito. Y nos vamos con todo.
Tokyo Game Show 2020 オンラインをご覧の皆さん、こんばんは。
Hello everyone, welcome to TGS 2020 Online Capcom Special Program. We're about to begin.
Yeah.
So my name is Taguchi and I will be your MC for this portion. So sorry, I will be Taguchi and I will be your MC for this portion. During this live stream, we will be welcoming guests from Capcom's development team who are ready to share with us some announcements regarding titles, Resident Evil Village and Monster Hunter Rise. Wow, look at all the
en esta oportunidad van a desarrollar Resident Evil 8 y Monster Hunter. Excelente.
We'd like to call tonight's guests to the stage. So over here, could you introduce yourselves?
Alto en escenografía puesta ya.
Hi, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda and I am one of the producers for Resident Evil Village. So, for everybody watching, thank you for watching tonight. Next up, that was in English, but his name is Peter Fabiano.
Peter Fabiano.
Wow, look at all the comments. Everybody's really excited to kind of see the information that we're going to unveil tonight.
¿Qué se espera que pase? Más que nada gameplay que parezca que está siendo jugado desde una interfaz de usuario.
Especially Resident Evil Village. So we want to start by talking about Biohazard Village.
Ven, no quieren decirle 8, le dicen Village.
Ese fue el último que liberaron, pero... Sí, el último que liberaron. Mira, ahí al comienzo como que se saturaron los frame rate un poquito. Eso me preocupa. Eso me emociona.
Mia.
Quit being so paranoid. Long ago, a young girl went with her mother to pick berries for her father, who was hard at work.
Esa estética es
But the
tan...
forest greeted them with a dark, cold
Caroline,
silence.
¿cómo se llama esa película?
The bushes empty. Yet determined to find the berries,
Era como una
the
estética
rascal
igual a
broke free
la...
of mother's grasp
a la de
and
la noche de
vanished into
Navidad,
the
algo así.
shadows. Mother's worried cries faded fast as the girl ran on, over vine, under branch, and into the forest deep.
Ay, qué rico.
It's just a local tale.
Ahí está. Esa es como la novedad que incluyeron. Va a haber un mercader. Entonces ahora tiene que haber más novedad. Po.
Wow, that was so scary, right? Looking at all the comments, it seems like everybody is like, wow, that was really cool. So, thank you. So, including videos, we have a lot more information to show you today.
Excelente.
So,
¿Hay más información?
we thought we'd start with a summary and some other information. To start with, this game's story takes place several years after Resident Evil 7. Just like RE7, players assume the role of Ethan Winters, who's now living peacefully with his wife Mia. So that peace that he is living with his wife is shockingly shattered by Chris Redfield, who helped Ethan in the previous game.
Cacha ahora.
So after watching the trailer, I'm sure players are left wondering what Chris's motives could be, and how this changes the dynamic between the characters from RE7. We can't
Sí, pues se
disclose this
supone que
today,
Chris
but we'll continue
era
to provide more
súper
information in the future.
buenachón y todo, comunicativo todo el
So in terms
cuento.
of the setting, as the title
Y
implies,
que está todo
this game takes
misterioso,
place in
agresivo
a desolate, snowy village where all sorts of drama
y
unfolds.
villanesco.
So, interesting thing about this game is the village plays a central role, so much so that it can be considered another main character. And here we get a look at some of the creatures that have taken root in the village. As seen in the trailer, they move fast, they're very violent, and they sometimes hunt in packs.
Claro.
They'll
Los
become
enemigos que van a
intolerant when
aparecer
they're organized and coordinated there.
se mueven mucho más rápido que en otros Resident y pueden
But even
venir
in
en
this
manada
creature-infested
según
village, there
lo que
are
comentan.
various residents that the players can expect to encounter along the way.
Bastante parecido a lo que
So
experimentábamos en el
what sort of
4,
story is going to be waiting for you with all these interesting characters in the
pero con
village?
mayor capacidad de hardware básicamente.
So we'll have more details about this as well, but you can look at the pictures that we have and kind of come up with your own ideals.
Esto es como mezcla entre secta y monstruos sin...
Just seeing it brings up all these kind of interesting, makes me imagine all the cool things that are going to be happening in this game. So is there anything else you can show us tonight? So yeah, we have something that we haven't shown anybody yet.
Excelente.
We have an interview with Pete and with the director
Pensé que era
Sako and
gameplay
with
ya.
the art director Takano. So please take a look.
こんなとこまで作り込んでんだみたいな。堂々それ以上の怖いパートは必ずある。Beautiful,
So a
terrifying. 恐ろしく美しい村。
so a very beautiful but scary.
Claro.
For Resident Evil 7, we initially thought of Ethan as a character who would just act as a camera for the player, a sort of blank slate for the cam to project themselves onto. But from a story perspective,
Están
we
hablando de la
realized it would be better
decisión
to make Ethan Winters a
orientar el
character
Resident Evil
unto
7 a
himself.
primera persona.
And you know, like we really ended up liking who Ethan became.
Para aumentar lo que es
We
la
wanted to know what happened to
inversión,
him
todo eso.
after Resident Evil 7, like what sort of life he would lead. So we started thinking that for the next stage, the protagonist really couldn't be anybody else but Ethan, and we figured this all out at a pretty early stage. We wanted to make sure Village was just as terrifying as Resident Evil 7, maybe even scarier. But, you know, something you'll probably notice that's different from that game is that we changed the lighting a lot from what you saw in Resident Evil 7. You probably noticed that if you watched the PV.
Comentan
And we
que
think we really hit
uno de los
the
principales cambios fue la
distance and made
iluminación.
a terrifying and beautiful village.
Y jugando más con la iluminación pueden crear ambientes más tensos y terroríficos.
We focused on making the world and the atmosphere all around it feel both beautiful yet terrifying.
Y ahí está. Uno de los principales enfoques es crear algo que es
So when we were
hermoso
making
y terrorífico a la
Resident
vez.
Evil 7, we thought, you know, is this still scary? We decided that in terms of game design, we would go back over everything that we did, and you can keep this in mind. We'd go back and we'd kind of reverse all the we'd rethink all the logic we used in the previous games.
Pensé que ese compadre
And
era
try to
el,
make a really
el vendedor de la
terrifying
tienda.
game. So compared to RE7, Village is a bit more catchy, a bit more easy to pull yourself into. That's one of the primary concepts we kept in mind when creating the game. Now, in terms of visual beauty and the weight we gave to it, I really left it all entirely in the capable hands of art director Takano. As Village's director, I tried to think about the feel of the game, like what are the emotional moments, where's the terror, where's the beauty, where's the cruelty? Where are all these like feelings? And thinking about all that sort of stuff is my main job, what I consider my main job when I screen this game.
Ah, ya está hablando
Now, when we
de
think of
su
the word
pega.
village, it evokes a sense of closeness, of like a small, tiny place. But when you look at what you've built Village to be, it's sort of a colossal distance. It's got like this colossal distant feel to it. We wanted to give it a sense of like oomph, like a very sense of reality. So we did our best to make the mountains around the village look as fantastic as possible, to really give it a wide open vibe. We wanted players to walk through the world
Claro.
and be like,
Buena,
"Oh,
buena."
I didn't think of what I could actually do
Dicen-
here, and wow, this is so cool and everything.
Que otro de los enfoques es que el jugador sienta que tiene
So we
espacio
thought a lot
abierto
about how to
donde
create a game that you can make
explorar y todo
your
eso.
own approach to, where you could figure out your own solutions to problems that you face.
a la vez que también
This is
diseñar
something we decided to do a lot
escenarios
more with
más
this game.
claustrofóbicos.
So you have a lot more freedom than in RE7. We want
Tiene
players
un
to
sentido un
experiment,
poco mayor de libertad
to
en,
figure out things that work.
que en Resident Evil 7.
We want everyone to think of Resident Evil Village as a horror movie that you can play.
Works really well to draw you into the world we've created. You want to take your time to fully explore the detailed environments and the fully designed
Ahora van a haber
set pieces. The only way that you
oportunidades
can
de
make
poder
it any
explorar
more
todo
immersive, I guess,
el
is
escenario
to
en el
stay
que uno
yourself and
se
put yourself in the
desenvuelva
game.
Where did you find this guy? Give me a break.
y disfrutar de las visuales igual.
But the forest greeted them with a dark, cold silence. The bushes empty. And into the forest deep.
Ahora sí ya es del trailer que ya vimos.
What is it with that creepy story?
¡Ay!
It's just a
onda?
local tale.
Eso no es. Eso no. Esa intro no es.
Storybook in Village because we had a huge variety of things that we included in the game. We realized later that it would be hard to summarize all that, and players might get confused and think, what's this all about? That would be, not ideal. So we came up with this one storybook that would sort of summarize everything for people so they can understand the whole picture of the game.
Okay.
All the little touches and ideas that the designers add are fully realized and come together once you make it through the entire game.
¿Ver una mecánica como de un cuentacuentos más o menos? Supongo que entre capítulos o algo así. Para orientarnos en el punto en el que estamos actualmente en el juego. O algo así.
This kind of story of Ethan, this one guy. So probably the entirety of who he is just kind of brought into one single game. For the Ethan Winters that we created in Resident Evil 7, I wanted to see where his story ended up. And I think that's kind of one of the main centerpieces of Resident Evil Village.
Ahí está. Uno de los objetivos de Resident Evil Village es concretar, darle una clausura a la historia de Ethan.
Wow, that was really cool. Oh man, look at all these really nice comments. Some of these comments are like, let Ethan have like a peaceful life, come on. If you watch the video we just showed, you can probably see what sort of survival horror we're trying to make with Resident Evil Village. We're hard at work on Resident Evil Village, so and we're doing everything we can to deliver an amazing game. So stay tuned for more information.
No
so
gameplay?
We do have one more thing to report.
Okay.
While Resident Evil Village is being developed specifically for next-generation consoles and PC, we're looking into delivering the experience on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well.
No.
Looking into it, but we can't make any promises.
Eso. No lo traigan a la Play 4. Eso va.
However, we will do our best to bring a top-tier survival horror experience on current generation consoles. Hopefully we'll be able to share some more good information. Wow, that's really exciting, right? So keep tuned for more information on this front. So that is going to be it for information on Biohazard Village, but I hear we have some more information to share with everybody from something else.
Ándate la cresta, no van a dar gameplay.
The 25th anniversary of the first Resident Evil coming next year on March 22nd, 2021. So we're here to kick things off with this year. So we've created two mascots for this anniversary, like a cute one and a really cool one. And this one's like super cute, right? So the one on the right is Raccoon-kun, or Raccoon. He is the mascot of Raccoon City. Now we have one more thing to show you, and that's this right here. Wow, look at it. That's like all the characters. So many characters I remember from the Resident Evil series.
O sea, de los más actuales, los remakes y el 7.
25 years is a long time, right? Like, back then I was still a student when it came out, and like Nike Air Maxes and stuff were out, beepers and whatnot. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each one of you. The reason why we're able to continue the series is because of all of you, of our fans. And I hope you enjoyed what we showed you today. And we have plenty more information to share with you soon, so please look forward to it.
Puta, papita, esta era la oportunidad.
So that's all the news from the two of us today. So everybody was really surprised to see that character in the middle of that big
¿Qué es el chat? A ver, del
large picture they had a second ago.
Del live.
So next year looks to be an excited one. And do you have one final message before you guys go and head off? So let's start with you, Takano-san.
Sigue el tema de Juan.
Also Kanda-san, sorry. So we can only give you a little bit of information about this game right now, but we want you to know that the entire staff is for Resident Evil Village is doing our best to create
sigue tirando
the best
excusas.
survival horror Resident Evil game for you guys to play.
No pienso liberarlo el próximo año y no quieren, no tienen gameplay.
A sort of Resident Evil that is what everybody wants and is the sort of thing that everybody can have a lot of fun with. So please stay tuned for more information.
Thanks everyone for watching.
So next up is Pete.
Gracias.
So we hope you look forward to more information about Resident Evil Village and the 25th year anniversary of Resident Evil. So that was all the information we have for you about Resident Evil today, but we hope you enjoyed it. Did everybody have fun?
Ni código Verónica, ni gameplay del 8, ni remake del 4.
That big picture
Nada.
before I was really surprised to see it in there.
Nada. Puro humo.
So next, we have some information for you on Monster Hunter. So stay tuned. 25 years, wow. Anyway, it looks like our preparations are ready, so now we're going to move on to talk about
Otra lecera.
Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2, which were announced just last week. So here to tell you about them are Monster Hunter Rise producer Tsujimoto Ryozo and the director Ichinose Yasunori. So could you introduce yourselves? I'm the producer Tsujimoto, and I am the director Ichinose.
Creo que accidentalmente hizo algo de desinformación. Ah, no. Está bien, yo venía a ver lo de Resident Evil 8 y fueron 10 minutos de cosas que ya sabía. Lo único nuevo es el librito. Ah.
So, what sort of information do you have for us today? So, we showed you a Monster Hunter Rise promotional video the other day, but this is one that actually is slightly different. We've updated the gameplay footage in it, so this is the TGS 2020 edition of it, so I hope you enjoy.
Otra cosa que ya se anunció hace varios días atrás. Que va a ser de la Switch, se ve realmente bonito. Esperemos que corra. Pucha, en serio, se van a pasar repitiendo trailers que ya vimos.
Wow, that was Hukino's comments. That was really fun.
Que no vengan con leceros, eso ya es
As you can
sabido.
see, there was some new
Tienen novedades
gameplay
por
footage
último.
in there. We'll tell you a little bit more about these new elements a little bit later. That part in the end was like, wow, this is super Japanese, right? I guess we're gonna be able to expect a lot of fun elements like that in the next game. So, Monster Hunter
Claro,
Rise is the latest
full
game in the
oriental
Monster Hunter
ese,
series. Could you tell us
ese
what it's
Monster
about?
Hunter.
So our main focus on Monster Hunter Rise is making use of the portability of the Nintendo Switch, which allows you to pick up and play the game at any time. This game's about being able to play wherever you want, whenever you want, with anyone you want. So, as we also explained during the announcement footage the other day, the Rise in the title refers to the freedom of movement the player has, which allows you to jump and climb around the environments
Libertad de
as much as you
movimiento.
want. We wanted to instill the title with kind of a sense of excitement to players across the world while they're exploring the game. We hope that players really enjoy that sort of stuff.
Ya eso no. Bueno, igual se veía un poquito en el tráiler que haya mucha libertad de movimiento.
Monster Hunter Rise is going to be and what kind of features it's going to have. So let's start with the most important aspect, the new player actions. This game has all these kind of really exciting movement-based actions that are in the game. So the game allows you to scale cliffs and by kind of elevated platforms, and to use the wire bug to do all sorts of really interesting things, like move across, to run across walls and everything. So here's going to be a video showing the wire bug.
Mira qué bonito. ¿Estará corriendo eso en el engine
So
o
this is some more actions that
desde
uses
PC,
the
emulando la
wire bug,
experiencia?
to traverse the environment. This lets you do all sorts of really interesting things, like scaling steep cliffs and to reach high places, moving very quickly. It also can be combined with your weapon for a variety of spectacular attacks, creating a completely fresh hunting experience. So you can use the wire bug
No tiene
to
cooldown.
do actions like wall running, to
O son dos.
overcome obstacles like they're
Hasta
nothing,
ahora se
and to
ve
bring kind of an exciting new
dos
dynamic
seguidos y
to
después
combat
tienen que
as
esperar
well.
un poco, parece.
As you can see, there's cool combo attacks you can use to make a much more fun experience. So the wire bug lets you traverse and kind of give you a lot more mobility in the game.
Parece que puede también sacar del equilibrio a los enemigos.
And so we really hope that people are excited to see more information about this. So we are talking a little bit about there's a new area in the game as well, sort of a central kind of place that you guys base off. And so after your quest, you'll head back over there. So we're going to talk about, in the trailer, we showed off a new locale called the Shrine Ruins. we'll be able to show you some more live gameplay of this area during Capcom TGS Live 2020 on September 2020, if that's tomorrow. We're going to have some, actually, gameplay footage. We're going to be playing it on the stream for you.
Mira, tenía gameplay, pero del Monster Hunter.
Definitely put that down on your agenda so you can listen to more. You'll be able to hear a lot more about that. So definitely make sure to catch the stream on September 26th.
Mañana.
Man, there's so much more stuff that you've added to this game. Next, we'd like you to tell us a little bit more about the new buddy, the canine. So you can watch this, see it in this new video. So this is a new type of buddy called the canine.
Llamado el canino, pero es un perro súper grande, weón.
And you can even ride on their backs to move around and do all sorts of other. So they're very invaluable allies in combat. So while riding a canine, your hunter's stamina doesn't really decrease. So you're able to run across each area to your heart's content. It gives you a lot more.
Hay un medidor de estamina. Eso es importante saberlo.
So while you're riding a canine also, you can use some items and perform some items, like you can recover your health and things like that. So Monster Hunter is a multiplayer game, but in single player, you're able to bring up to 2 buddies along on your quests, kind of any combination that you want. So you can like have a canine and one other thing as well. So, and they can be 2 of the same type as well. So it can be 2 canines. It can be a canine and like a palinite or something like that. So if you like dogs, you can definitely go with the dog version. If you like cats, you can go with the cat version.
Hay un gato compañero igual. Bueno, igual se veía en el trailer.
But in multiplayer, each hunter only gets to bring 1 buddy with them. So you can kind of like pick the one that, really fits you.
Volvió el meme de Juan, ¿por qué?
So I'm really excited to see how these buddies will kind of affect the gameplay. But now, of course, we can't talk about Monster Hunter without mentioning the monsters. Do you have any new monsters in store for us? Can you tell us about them? So Monster Hunter Rise has lots of new monsters. So in the trailer we showed off a few of them, including the new flagship monster Magnamalo, which you'll see here. So we can't give you all the information about Magnamalo yet. Let me just show you this picture.
Solo van a mostrar la imagen. No van a dar detalles del boss, del monstruo.
For right now, we'd like you all to know that it's a fearsome fanged with vern, with a strong air of menace about it. It's really scary. It's got some very unique modes of movement. So sorry, you're going to have to wait for more information about that, but we hope everybody will look forward to finding out more about this really cool monster. Next up, we have Aknosum, a kind of very peculiar looking bird wyvern that looks kind of like a parasol.
Todos ya aparecieron en el trailer, creo.
Fiercely territorial, however, and once it detects any intruders, it spreads its wings, trying to intimidate its prey by expanding kind of a crest within that has an eyeball-like pattern on it.
Aquí buena.
So next up,
tiene patrones parecidos a ojos en su plumaje, creo que están comentando.
It is a bird wyvern that kind of attacks with its tail, which has evolved into a very unique shape, this sort of scythe-like shape. So the great Izuchi forms packs with others like it, with other smaller Izuchi, and it tends to patrol its territory with some elite members of its pack by its side. So once they spot their prey, they'll attack in unison. So you have to kind of stay in your toes and be aware of the entire pack when they're coming to attack you.
Ese está simpático.
Next, we have this very unique monster called Tetranodon, who's an amphibious monster that's... He's a bit of a hefty chunk. He's extremely gluttonous, and it'll swallow anything that moves, including the ground that it's standing on.
Sí, como
So
hasta la
once it's
tierra.
done eating, its stomach will swell and it kind of gets slower, but then its attacks also become heavier and more destructive. So we have definitely several more monsters to talk about. And we also have a lot of monsters that you know and love from the Monster Hunter series. And they will all be in Monster Hunter Rise, but we can't talk about them just now, so please keep an eye out for more information. So, we talked a little bit about the new base that you start off in Monster Hunter Rise. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? So the base of your new hunting life is called Kamura Village.
Ah, bueno, vamos a notar la base.
Very Japanese looking village, right? It's got all the conveniences you need, like a smithy facilities and other really interesting buildings to explore. There's also a lot of colorful characters in this village who will be supporting the hunters as they explore this world.
¿El NPC?
So the trailer also made something called the Rampage. It's really important to the story, so we can't quite reveal anything about that just yet. But this is a completely new gameplay element that we're working on, so please look forward to more information in the future.
¿Pero de eso nomás? No van a mostrar los NPC ni nada. Lo mencionaron nomás. Puta la lecera.
But that's about all we can talk about today, though we do have a slightly different trailer that we've made just for this occasion.
Yeah. Yeah, esto van a mostrar
Also,
más
you shot a
novedades.
slightly different trailer just for this occasion, so could you tell us a little bit more about the new scenes you added?
Estos son
So,
detallitos que no estaban en
we showed off
el trailer anterior. Ah, ya. Ok.
We showed off some new actions for the lance, the hammer, the light bowgun, and the longsword. And we also showed some cool new actions that use the wire bug. There are also some really interesting new aerial attacks using large barrel bombs.
Sí.
So, So we also have new actions and new abilities for the palicos
¿Cuánto?
and
10 segundos de
guarding
novedad.
parasol, I think, for a canine.
Ah, estoy enojado. Qué enojado el Resident
There's
Evil
even a
3.
glimpse of a small monster with a very unique kind of face that you'll run into the
8.
shrine ruins.
Bueno,
Kind of like a
desde el
tiny
3,
wrecking
pues el
dog.
3 también fue medio meh.
We also showed kind of like a bug-like monster as well. But we'll tell you more about those at a later date. Wow, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot more really cool information to be waiting for, so we'll keep an eye out for it. So, as I mentioned before, we will premiere
Las mayores novedades para mañana, en un live de
CAPCOM
mañana.
TGS Live 2020
Sí.
on September 26th at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we hope you tune in again tomorrow. I think we had just some of that information on the screen. So now that we know a little bit more about the game itself, can you tell
Por
us
eso
what
no,
we should
no creo que lo
expect at
streamee así
launch?
porque
Well, first off, Monster Hunter Rise's release date
no me llama
will
mucho.
be Friday, March 26th, 2021.
Aparte que enojado con
Simultaneously
Capcom.
worldwide. We will, of course, have both a physical version and a digital version, so you can pick whichever you like.
Me importaba. Bueno,
We also have a version of Monster Hunter Rise called Deluxe Edition that has a bundle of recommended DLC, including the Kamurai Layered Armor Set.
Bonita la
For more
armadura.
information about this, please visit our official website. Are there any bonus things that we can accept? A pre-order bonus that we can think of? So,
Beneficio de precompra.
so we don't have
Regalitos si
that many.
reservan.
Supply will be limited, but all versions will include
Está bonito el
a
gato.
Palamute and a Palaku, and some special layered armor. So your Palamute will get a retriever costume
aparte de
layered
eso,
armor. Your
armadura.
Palaku will get a forest cat layered out. And God, look how delightfully cute that is.
Ah, no, esos son las armaduras. O sea, son como skins, entonces.
So we also have
Obviamente amigos, pues si tienen que vender su merchandise.
Same as the game. Magnamala, a Palamute, and a Palico. These amiibo unlock special layered armors in the game, so we hope you check them out. And last but not least, we did mention Monster Hunter Stories 2 the other week as well, so we have some cool crossover content for that as well, so look forward to more information on that at a later date.
Una colaboración futura.
So pre-orders for the digital version have already gone live, and pre-orders for the physical version started today, September 25th. So please consider pre-ordering. We'd very much
Ah, ya
appreciate it.
comenzaron la reserva.
So everything we talked about today will be put up on the official website as well. So please don't forget to check that for more information. So I think that about finishes everything for today. Monster Hunter Rise comes out on March 26, 2021. Are there any final words you have for our viewers about this game? So, since Monster Hunter Rise was announced the other day, we've received a lot of positive fan feedback, which has made us really happy. Thank you very much.
Están entusiasmados con su comunidad y todo. Pues bueno,
So we are currently working hard on
pongo.
completing this completely new hunting experience. So please look forward to it and to more information about our game. So we'll keep bringing you the latest info on Monster Hunter Rise in the future, but we will definitely have a lot more to talk about before March.
Prometen que van a haber más novedades, bla bla bla. Lo más destacable el gancho, que igual se vio un poco en el tráiler, pero explicaron de que es la principal mecánica para permitir libertad de movimiento, que es uno de los enfoques principales del juego.
Also, please make sure to follow the official line in Twitter and other SNS accounts
hacer el
for
combate un
Monster
poco
Hunter.
más
We'll continue to add more
móvil,
information
por así decirlo.
as time goes on. So that's all from Mr. Ichinose. Thank you very much for joining us today. Oh. So there are probably going to be some viewers who are like, oh man, those buddies are too cute to ride.
¿No qué bonito?
So next, Mr. Shijimoto is going to share some more information on Monster Hunter Stories 2 with us. So at the same time as Monster Hunter Rise, we released some we announced Monster Hunter Stories 2. So I have some more details for you, but please take a look at the trailer.
Este se supone que es como el más RPG. A ver, de esto no he visto absolutamente nada. Ya. ¿Cómo estaba? ¿Quién le jinete de dragón.
レウスの力を見ていない破滅の力を見極めるのが俺たちの任務だ。
各地でレウスがどこかへ渡り行方がわからなくなっているの。アンジャム。
Sin gameplay. Sin gameplay.
Man, that character design was awesome. That was such an exciting trailer. So the genre of this game is actually an RPG, not an action game.
Claro, ahí está. RPG.
So just like an RPG game, it'll have all the things that you'll expect. So you'll become a monster hunter. Obviously you're going to be a monster hunter, but you're going to forge bonds with monsters, raise them, become a monster rider, and travel to all kinds of places. So moving on. So Rathalos have mysteriously disappeared from the world of Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. The protagonist, a descendant of the legendary rider Red, meets a Wyverian girl who has been entrusted with a mysterious egg. The two set out on an epic tale surrounding the Wings of Ruin. Now, of course, you'll be able to adventure with many of your favorite monsters from the Monster Hunter series, but you'll also experience a narrative deeply rooted in the bonds between rider and monster worthy of the story's name.
Ah, orientado a contar una historia concisa.
It's still a little bit too early to talk about most of it, but I think I can tell you a few things. So first, look at this slide. So some people might think this is the protagonist, but this is actually not the protagonist. This is a character named Red, who is a legendary monster rider. So please check a look at the thing in the palm of his hand. This is called a kinship stone, and it's used by riders to deepen their bond with monsters. So the bonded monsters are called monsties. So you can ride them, of course, but it's said that there are monsties with other hidden abilities as well, and you can kind of collect and find them as you go. So this is Red's partner, a Rathalos monster. So Red and his Wrath are key to the story, and they're some of the first to notice that the world has changed, or is changing. And the protagonist is Red's grandchild. The protagonist is also a monster hunter like Red, but they're only a beginner. They may be a rider, but they use similar weapons to hunters and can fight monsters. You'll be able to customize their their details, so you can change their name and customize their appearance and do all sorts of interesting things like that. So this hasn't been announced yet, the next thing we're talking about.
Yeah, hay una novedad.
But these are all different things that your characters look like. These are all characters that you can design.
Ah, un personaje personalizable.
So, I'd also like to tell you about the weapons in the game. In addition to the great sword, the hammer, and the sword and shield, we plan to add 2 more weapons from the Monster Hunter series. So now I'd like to introduce you to another character. So this girl is a Wyverian named Enna. So in the Monster Hunter universe, there is a race that's different from humans called the Wyverians. Some of their unique traits is their exceptionally long lifespans. So she is one of those.
Tengo la purificación.
So right now you're probably wondering why has this girl Enna been entrusted with an egg by Ratha, but we can't reveal that yet, obviously. Meeting her is the event that kind of
No van a revelar detalles de la historia.
So meeting her is the event that kind of sets the protagonist's adventure in motion. And meeting her is sort of the key that sort of sets your adventure and sets you on your quest to find the Wings of Ruin. So I'm really excited to see what sort of story is waiting for us. So can you tell us a little bit more about this? The game release. So the game release is going to be in
Los que se van paseando en el live, si llegaban por el título que mostraba Resident Evil 8, yo estoy tan decepcionado como ustedes. Fueron como 10-15 minutos de Resident Evil y no mostraron nada nuevo, ni gameplay, ni otro proyecto, nada.
Some things in Monster Hunter Rise will tie into Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin, so please look forward to more information on that. Wow, look, I think that's all the time we have today. We'll be updating all this information on the official website, so you can check there for more information. So do you have anything to say to the viewers in closing, Mr. Tsujimoto? So today we introduced two games, Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. So we're putting out updates via the official website, as well as on our Twitter and other official SNS accounts. So please, don't forget to keep an eye on those.
Ahora lo están invitando a
Also at
tener más novedades en las páginas oficiales.
2020 tomorrow, we will also have more information for you as well, including a live.
Mañana más novedades también.
So thank you. I hope everyone's excited for Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin. And Mr. Tsujimoto, thank you for your presentation. So, and that is all of the titles that we're introducing today. But we do have a number of special announcements from Capcom.
A ver.
So a huge sale line of Capcom titles are now
cool.
up to 86% off.
Igual, perdón.
Several Resident Evil titles, including Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil 7, and others, are currently on sale.
El 7 me falta tenerlo físico.
Now is the chance to play before Resident Evil 7 Village arrives. Also, Monster Hunter, I believe, Generations Ultimate on Nintendo Switch.
Ojalá que ese 86% esté en el Resident Evil.
Looking forward to the arrival of Monster Hunter Rise.
¿Pero será de solo productos digitales? Yo creo que sí.
Titles as well, such as Okami from our older past titles. So please keep an eye out for more information on them.
¿En serio?
Now next up,
hay que ver si
we have some information on the Capcom TGS Live 22 live stream. It starts
pasado mañana puede que haya más novedades.
From 12 p.m. for just 2 days on September 26th and September 27th. You can tune in for additional info on the three titles to feature today, along with the special
hay esperanza por lo menos.
Announcer Street Fighter V Champion Edition. Now, lastly,
el 27 pueden haber más novedades de Resident Evil 8.
After the stream today, we have the Street Fighter League Pro JP 2020 tournament first leg, which will be starting on Esports X at 11 p.m. Japan Standard Time today. Topped up with international top players such as the legendary player Umehara and the Tokyo graduate Tokyo. Will gather to form a dream
de sus mains, parece.
They're set on joining the league. Don't miss all of this really awesome stuff. Wow, that was such a really packed broadcast we had today. We hope everybody really enjoyed it, and
hay esperanza.
That brings an end to our program tonight. For everybody watching today, thank you very much. Goodbye, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.
Chao. No pienso hacer wave. Y ahí se está despidiendo el lives. Entonces, bastante decepcionante la mañana, no hay otra forma de escribirlo. Ninguna otra forma de escribirlo. Yo estaba seguro de que iba a haber gameplay del Resident Evil 8. Pero por lo menos dejaron comentado de que se viene alguna novedad más de Resident Evil 8 pasado mañana. ¿A qué hora? ¿A qué hora? ¿A qué hora? ¿A qué hora? Anda, salte. 27. 7. ¿Dónde está? ¿No aparece aquí? Aparece aquí. Ya, pero voy a estar atento. A ver qué pasa. Supuestamente el 27 se vienen más novedades. Esto fue el 20. Esto fue ahora. Sí. Mañana capaz que Konami saque... No creo que saquen el Silent Hill. Que anuncien algo. Capacito. ¿Qué quiere ver? A la misma hora que Sega. A las 8. ¿Qué? ¿Antes? No, va a ser en la madrugada. Espérate. Voy a tener que investigar eso. Hay que investigar eso en detalle. Después en mi tiempo libre. Mañana a las 8 Konami. Hoy mañana en medio de la madrugada en Night City Wire. Qué loco. Supuestamente estos tipos anunciaron más de... algo por el 27. Qué raro. Súper raro. Pero voy a estar muy atento a eso. Escucha. Gracias. Va. ¿Seguirá transmitiendo Square Enix? Voy a descansar ahora. Que en un día más o menos. Hay que hacer el video de las cositas que llegaron a Sino. Y sería. Pucha, qué decepcionante. Muchas gracias a todos los que participaron. Muchas gracias a todos los que se pasearon. Espero que nos podamos ver pronto, obviamente. Y estamos al habla. Estén bien, saludos.